Hi guys, let's look at the difference between using capitalize, upper and title, okay, in Python. They're similar, but they're different. So when you use the word capitalize, when you use the word upper, and when you use the word title. So with me here, I've got the Jupyter notebook, okay, and we're going to be looking at different with the upper, title, and capitalize. And to just make this very quick, let's assign A, and let's say A is, let's write a string. Okay. So let's say A is a boy. So let's say this is the string that we want to write. So assign A to this. Okay. So this is what A means, and this is a string because it's a series or a sequence of characters. Okay. Um, what we used to call VACA in, which is variable character in SQL. So this is actually a string. And let's see how we can change, how we can modify the words within the string using upper and using title and using capitalize. So if we come here and say A dot upper, let's see what happens. So A dot upper, what upper does is that it changes every letter within this string to uppercase. That's what A dot upper does. So upper changes every single letter to an uppercase. And if we come here and say A dot title, what title will do is title will change only the first letters of each word. If we run that, you can see that the first letter of Eze is now capital. The first letter of Is is capital. A is just one letter. And then the first letter of boy is capital. So that's what title does. It changes only the first letter in each word within your string to capital. Okay. So that's what title does. And let's see what capitalize does. So if we do capitalize, okay, and in capitalize, it's actually it's American English, so it's Z. What capitalize is going to do is to change only the first, capitalize will change only the first letter within the entire string. Okay, so it will change only this E, and let's demonstrate that. So capitalize changes only the first letter. Obviously, if let's come here and say B equals, let's say Peter, okay? And if we run that, let's say B is equal to Peter. We'll say B dot capitalize. Okay, and you run that. Obviously, because Peter is the string contains only one word. That's why it looks as though so in this kind of situation, capitalize will resemble title, okay? Because we say B dot title, okay? The B dot title will give the same thing, because we are dealing with only one word. When we have a string that contains more than one word, then you begin to see the difference between title, which then changes the first letter of each word to capital, and capitalize, which changes only the first letter within the entire string to capital. Whereas you can see that upper changes every word, every letter within the string to capital letter. Now, to demonstrate this further, let's import a CSV file. One of the files we imported if you look at my video where I talked about how to import a CSV file, we see that first thing we want to do is let's import pandas. So let's say import pandas. Okay, and let's import pandas first, and we can then say pandas.read. So we use the read CSV module or function. And let's go and grab our CSV file. Let's grab our CSV file. So this is our CSV file. And we'll go to copy as path. Okay. We're going to come back, paste that file directory. And as we said in our last video, we just have to duplicate all the backslashes. Let's duplicate all the backslashes. And if we run this, this gives us a table, a CSV, a CSV file. This gives us a table of this CSV file, excuse me. So let's do a few things now. Let's see if we can change some of these things. Let's play around. Let's play around some of these things. So let's change ID, or let's change name. Let's change name to all capital. So we'll come here. Let's just say, let's assign this. Let's say our data frame is equals to this. Okay, so if we run that, our data frame is this. Obviously, if we run this, data frame, you can always run from there. So this shows us this. So our data frame, this whole table has now been assigned to data frame. And the next thing we want to do is let's change this name that is all in small letters to all capital letters. So if we say data frame.columns, or let's change all of them actually. So data frame dot columns, let's say data frame dot columns dot opera. Okay, so if we run this, I should have put string there. So it's data frame dot columns dot string, which is str dot opera. So what happens is that all my column headers are now in uppercase. And if I do data frame dot columns dot string dot str dot capitalize, if I do capitalize, what's going to happen is in this kind of situation, remember when we said capitalize in a string, it changes only the first letter of the entire string to a capital letter to an uppercase. But in this situation, it's going to change all of them because they are individual strings, okay? They are individual strings. Remember what we said, when we have a string that has only one word, then what's capitalized will do is that, of course, it will change the first letter of that particular string. So if we copy this, control copy, and we come down here and control paste, and we change this capitalized to title. It's also going to give us something similar to capitalize because, again, what title does is that title changes, the first letter of every word within a string. And obviously each string here has just one. So this is a string, this is a string, these are individual strings, separate strings, and a title also changes the first letter, okay, to this. Now we can also use upper. Let's try this. Let's see if we do this, if it's going to work. Just trying to try something, it doesn't work. I didn't expect that to work. If I say columns, okay, so that doesn't work. So let's leave that out. So just know that this is how you can change. And then you can always assign your data frame.columns to anyone. So let's say you want to use a title. Let's say you want to use title. All you need to do is come here and say data frame.columns equals this. So if you run this, you're going to assign it or run that, and then run our data frame. You see that all our column headers or titles now start with uppercase, okay? They now begin with uppercase. And if you don't want to run it this way, let's assume you don't want to run it this way. You space that back, capitalize, yeah? So you can data frame does, yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. Just say data frame does columns equals, so we've already run that, so probably, yeah, it's still there. So that's what you can do. So in summary, I've actually just shown how you can differentiate upper from title, from capitalize. As you can see, they actually are very similar, but yet they are different. And understanding the difference between all of these actually makes sense. Okay. I think just before I go, let me also show you something. Let me copy this. Let's copy this to the bottom and still demonstrate something. So how we can use indexing. If we come here now and we want to, let's say up a dot title, okay, a dot title is going to give us this. A dot upper is going to give us this as we've shown. But let's assume we want to use a dot upper to only change the first one. So what we can do there is a dot upper, okay. Thank you. That's right. Yeah. So we can do this. So index. So when you come to a string, the first letter is the index 0. Starts from 0. So index 0, 1, 2. This space is index 3. Okay, 4, 5. This space is index 6. So you also count the spaces. You index everything within the string. So if you do this, it gives you this. And then if you add a plus sign and say, let's add a plus sign. So say A dot, we say A index. Let's put an index there. So this is index. This is now index 1, isn't it? So 1 to the end. So this gives us a 0. So what you can see here is that we've actually just capitalized only the first. But I think rather than go through this stress, just use title. Title, a dot title does exactly what we were trying to do. Well, let's assume someone doesn't know that there's something like a dot title and knows only a dot upper, knows how to use the upper function. Then the person will have to go through this longer route, which is indexing, applying the upper to only index 0, which is the first letter, then still put in a, and then say index from index 1 to the end. Okay, you can also do that as counting. If you want to do it in longer ways, say this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if you put 12 there, it's going to give you exactly the same thing. But rather than counting, let's assume the string was so long. Rather than counting everything, just remove everything there and run this. Okay, and it's still going to give you the same thing. So I just felt I should show you how you can also use upper to get something similar to title. Okay, so if you think this video has been helpful, leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and hit the notification bell so you'll be informed when I release more videos. Thank you very much.